Welcome to episode 8 of Covering Guts and Blackpowder lore. For now, this will be the final episode of this series until the next map releases, of course. This episode will cover Laf Haye Sainte and Hougoumont. As always, sources are the Guts and Blackpowder wikis and the Discord. But first, I've got something else to show you related to my Discord.
Join the 69th today.
Alright, now let's get started with Laf Haye. So, in real life history, the skirmish at Laf Haye was part of the Battle of Leigny. This battle was a prelude to Waterloo and Napoleon's last military victory. It was fought between Napoleon's French forces against the Brits, Dutch, and the Prussians under Blücher. Skirmishes occurred at farmhouses like Laf Haye, particularly between the French and the Prussians in this case. The French defeated their opponents, yet Napoleon was of course still defeated in the Battle of Waterloo sometime later. When it comes to lore, this map is rather dry. But you know your boy has found something. First of all, it is very interesting that Prussia is available in this map after what happens at Kaub. During these times, news takes longer to spread, as we can also see in Guts and Blackpowder. However, Blücher is mentioned in the British newspaper at Hougoumont, and the Prussians are, of course, available to play as in Laf Haye. So, did the Prussians get a new commander? Did they take their own initiative? Or is it all a scheme by the Duke of Wellington? We don't know for sure. This map contains some writings written in French though. Brûler les morts translates to burn the dead. And an open book can also be found on the map. Like everything else, the contents are written in French. The following is a rough translation. Log. 3 bags of flour, 40 bottles of juice. 5 died yesterday, down to 20 men. Give 20 men 2 bottles each. A bag of 5 bread loaves. So, some fun facts about Laf Haye. It is, in my opinion, the best map to get Old Guard on. And Laf Haye Sainte translates to the farm above. Now, we will move on to the final map we will cover for a very good while, Hougoumont. In real-life history, Hougoumont is one of the many places where fighting breaks out during the Battle of Waterloo. Napoleon gets ultimately defeated by the British, who are supported by the Dutch, and the Prussians coming in on Napoleon's flank. It was Napoleon's last field battle he ever attended. And afterwards, he was exiled to the island of St. Helena, where he died of stomach cancer. But some sources say he could have been poisoned. Hougoumont is a rundown manorial compound. The compound is divided into 2 parts and consists mostly of free space. The map features a chateau in the center that the players spawn behind. The upper half of the compound contains a well in the center, an elevated catwalk, and 2 barns in opposite corners. In this part of the map, there is also a large fire near a corner. The lower part of the compound, where the players spawn, contains a burning building, an armory, a 2-story building, and 2 catwalks. There are exits that lead out to the compound on opposite ends of each other. The courtyard outside of the compound is accessible, but lacks light sources, making it very difficult to see. After Hougoumont got its revamp, a newspaper could be found from the Britannia Herald. And this paper is Valhalla for people searching for lore. This newspaper is stacked. It's a lot of text, so I won't read it all, but I'll put a screenshot in the screen. This newspaper is the base, the backbone of all Guts and Blackpowder lore. It mentions the following: the truce and the Napoleonic Wars, Many countries would return their prisoners of war, and there would be guaranteed peace. Austria, Russia, Denmark, and Sweden have it severely rough with the Blight and haven't spoken a word to their allies. In the following section, they mention how British soldiers would land onto mainland Europe and would support the struggling countries there, which causes some unrestless amongst the British population, because the Duke of Wellington makes the people believe the Blight is just a case of the Black Death, which is not sitting right with the people of Britain. Then they mention wanting to meet Blücher and Napoleon himself at Brussels, which undoubtedly wouldn't be a success as Blücher is dead. The British population wants to see more of this quote-unquote Blight in mainland Europe, as the British government is extremely vague about it. No sights of the undead have been seen in the UK, meaning a map set there will be very unlikely. Then it mentions Robert Smith of the 5th Division, a survivor of San Sebastian. It describes the events of San Sebastian from the perspective of a British soldier. Again, if you want to read, here's a screenshot. He describes the events as an extremely bloody, and he has never seen more men die in an hour. Then he mentions one of the survivors being infected and killing the captain of the HMS Undaunted. They split up with the French and were escorted by the Spanish guerrillas and sailed away. Another letter can be found in Hougoumont next to a dead horse. It goes as follows. Laf Haye Sainte has fallen. At 8:35 on June 18th, the French and German English forces fell to the masses of the undead. From what can be gathered, I believe no man has escaped the grasps of the undead. What's left of our garrison has barricaded the attic. We have little time, and it seems all escape attempts will be futile. We are prepared for the inevitable. To the forces at Hougoumont, best of luck to you, and good day. George von Baron. In every endless map, the player is sadly doomed to die, and Hougoumont is no different. And with that, we reach the temporary end of my Guts and Blackpowder lore series. It has been an incredible journey, and I can't wait to cover the next map that comes out. But until then, thank you for all the support, and I will see you in my next upload. Until then,